Hello again.
Hello, Guardians of the Light. It's a privilege to be here once again in front of you. We have prepared questions for you today, mostly from Susan, but a few from myself, but from inspired by the information that you gave Susan last week. So looking forward to be talking with you again today. It really is a special, a special moment for me every week to be here. And I hope we'll get a chance to do this many more times going forward.
Without a doubt, we feel this is true.
Good. So surprisingly for I think both of us was the theme that came out of last week was the crystal skulls, which was a question that I added in and I almost never asked the question. And then it's went on to have quite an impact on Susan this week with her having visions of the crystal skulls and particularly eh, seeing the crystal skulls and sort of seeing a large form of it and then being taken on a journey in a vehicle that took her to a far-flung galaxy with portals opening. And at some point, she stopped and sends an ancient book with light scanning it, and there was lots of going on in that vision. So, are you able to give us any information on what was going on at that point and why she was shown that vision?
You both opened a portal through your questioning to reconnect to a vibration. The vibration is it's something that is generally veiled, which would be why you're getting nearly didn't ask. It's like there's something that pushes the mind away from the information. But you've called it in, and this vibration is able to sustain and hold to travel and understand the different aspects of the depths of it's deeper than it's deep. It's seeding the vision that Susan told you coming into this is an information network and it's connecting into the heartbeat of the field of it's like heartbeat connecting to the information that is available in within a set vibration. So as you are rising in vibration and anchoring through pure the heart frequency, this opens the doorway to travel through what you're using the skulls as a portal to ancient lost. Ancient is not the right word. It's like like digging, like archaeological. For the lost information that is that you tour sustained within that portal that is the crystal skulls. So sure, what is being experienced is the calling back of the ancient knowledge. So it can what's happening is the information is received, it's brought back, processed through. Susan holds a code that can transform it into a way that can be received. And you come together. She was understanding, and she told you, and you activate. So coming together, it's like alchemy. It's like creation and activation all in one. You're not meant to do the same thing. On the journey that this provides, you create an opportunity to complement each other's frequency, which is fantastic for us because that makes our job much easier. But the question, what was the question?
There's lots of questions from what you've just said.
Okay,
The question,
I think we maybe went off on a tangent.
that's okay. No, the question was just to try and explain why she's seen that vision, why she had it. But it sounds like you've given us what was going on. So can you just to break down what you've said? I mean, Susan went on a journey. Was that an astral journey? Did her astral body leave and go on that journey, or was she just shown the visions in her head? Can you tell me?
Yeah, Susan stayed in the body, but aspects of consciousness are able to travel. So she's here, but she's also there. The soul is expansive. And it isn't just sustained within one space. Many aspects, Akatua, can travel whilst maintaining the body. They get anchored in the body. So sustaining the light that is threaded through. So like when you astral travel, people imagine stepping out of the physical vessel, but that's not what she's doing. She is shifting into it's like being one spaceship with many little spaceships, and each represents a little piece of consciousness. And then she
Okay,
can get in one of those and she can travel, but the main vessel is still solid
right.
and here
Okay,
and grounded.
right.
So she can go many different places. So when she's at night, she's traveling and going many different timelines and exploring to heal and weave to create this reality that we're stepping into now.
Okay. So many questions. So when that part of her soul is traveling, is it safe? So I just got the memory of when she was trapped previously, and I just thought, there's no chance that those fragments, as they're traveling out, could be trapped again at any point?
We thank you for your work. She is so safe. She is at the yeah, she is so much light now. Yeah, and she doesn't travel alone. There are teams and there are other souls that are I'll work at that. They support her and the mission, and they have been called back. It's like a intimate weaving of geometry that supports the vessel in like like a vortex or like a portal of energy that maintains shape and structure for her to move in and out of realities. This may be something you could practice also. As we're connecting more and more, recognizing that you don't have to leave the body to experience. By going inward. And seeing the different areas of consciousness as vessels you can use. Then you can travel out through that. Show me what you represent, what you represent, what you represent. And it's just going within. Is the key to the totality of everything.
Okay.
And some leave, yes, but not everyone needs to leave to connect to the totality. It's a different concept, but both are powerful.
Okay, thank you. The the question that I find leading on from that explanation is, Susan has spoken about calling back other parts of your existences of my soul, and particularly for myself, but other people could do it as well, where we've been beings in other existences and we can call them back to this existence. So that fragmentation of the soul idea, which you just spoke about, is that two different concepts of other existences and fragmenting Susan's own soul to send out? Is that two different concepts, or is it similar idea?
And it's different. I got the because when you're going in, she is in a totality of wholeness, and experiencing through a thread of memory, which is why she can access that. That's that part of consciousness. The fractured timelines that are being healed to get the and calling those aspects back. So the ripples of an event that ripples out many, many ancestors and evolutions then from one event. But this is a distorted reality and that weakens the light. So this is what's becoming alchemical in what we are healing, repairing that rippled fracture at the Getitya and calling back the they're like shards of the consciousness which are broken off that sit in that distorted the ripples of that reality that veered off at that point. And then we can heal those timelines and call back the light. So when you go within, you are stronger, you're more sustained at that the geometry of your light is it's not holding the fractures, and therefore you are not able to be attacked, or there's not this fragmented energy feeding back, because everything is interconnected and interwoven.
Okay. So we're still on this very first question. So you spoke about the probably ancient knowledge that Susan is accessing through this journey and through the skulls and what's allowing her to access. Does she realise that she's tapping into that, or that ancient knowledge is there now for her? And how does she access that knowledge? How would she best receive the knowledge and then use it?
Yeah, no, yeah, to get that, yeah, well, yeah, yeah, when she accesses it, at the end, she is. I could go to she scans it, she's drawing it in, and then so the light of her soul, and I get that to get it to get it you imagine it like going into a big cauldron of energy and this is where the co-creation then happens and then she processes that through her energy field and this is what is then being received, moving outward to life, the planet, the people, situations, but her body goes through a shift and DNA calibration to sustain these codes and the understanding of the through the vibration, which is the ups and downs that are being experienced and the fluctuations of levels of energy, focus of everything. The energy system, the body, the matrix is completely rewriting at as the wisdom and the codes are being received at and what needs to be sustained is written into the template that is perhaps not optimal, but is learning to sustain different frequencies. And then when you work together at you are holding space, and we all three of us are working together to activate this alchemical, and this is bringing a vibrational alignment that starts to breathe. So when we talk about the shape and the structure, and the frequency, and the color and the sound, the taste, activating and aligning and anchoring it back through into Gaia so everything can receive, bring it into the unconscious field so the totality can start to remembering, and others will start accessing, and this is going to create momentum.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I was I was going to ask a very narrow focus of how Susan can use it in her daily life, that knowledge. Maybe it just comes out of her sort of when it's needed, and she'll share that wisdom when it's needed. But we also spoke about before, eh, we also spoke about how do we share this in a wider context? Is this the type of information we should be sharing with other people and doing more with these recordings that we're making? Is it time for,
Hey, there is definitely aspects of these sessions and that can be shared. Use discernment. For what is right and collective knowledge. Versus like the crystal skulls. Perhaps not yet, but there are many topics at the that is very valuable and will help others ascend just by sitting in the vibration, listening and understanding through the conversation and the energy that's forming and flowing.
okay, thank you. As part of uh, Susan sharing her first story with me on the Crystal Skulls last week, she also added a paragraph where she offered to attune me to the Crystal Skulls energy, and I sort of missed that offering last week. I just thought I read it as if I should attune to it, but she was offering to attune me to it. So that's something I certainly like to do. Are the Guardians of Light, could you be involved in that, or is it something Susan would do on her own?
Hanging in there, yeah, it would not take long and we can help you. It feels like there is a resistance within the in the heart. It's like a it's like a maybe a subconscious wound. This would be very valuable to activate in your energy. The DNA cellular expression would come into a higher frequency that and then start wiring and firing in new ways. I get to thinking open to new ideas and thoughts. Like a teacher, if you just open your heart and mind, breathe and be calm, this is the perfect place to receive.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
That feels good. I've really felt a lot going on in my chest as over the past minute or two. A lot of big heartbeats thumping at my chest. I feel good.
When activating, it was like like memory blocks had been placed to stop the expression and remembrance. And the emotional energy just releasing and enlightening. Now breathing and holding space for that new frequency. Feels like a full body vibration. Yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, it still feels to be settling, but when you can just keep cooling in and breathing that energy, that light. Imagine like the veins of that energy running down through your feet, through the bottom of your feet, feeding the Earth Star chakra, connecting with the heart of Gaia. We also updated the code that feeds through your life to hold the frequency. So the energy of the core energy will sustain that new frequency.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So that leads us on to another question from Susan, and it's actually about receiving upgrades that I've just received. So thank you very much. So she's asking, is it correct that she understands that every week when we ask for upgrades through the neural networks, uh, we are open to receive to being progressed at a rate that otherwise would likely take years. So are you almost speeding up our development by giving us these upgrades? Susan
Yeah.
believes that's what's happening. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is exactly the thought we gave her. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, she also asked when she was seeing that initial vision that I spoke about with the crystal skull, she's seen 13 skulls, but then she said, oh no, there was 14 skulls. And she's asking, where did the extra skull come from?
The hidden gifts that even those that think they know don't actually know. And that veil that's been present hiding the totality until one can be trusted. Certain information can't be accessed. This is the portal into the ancient books to get the codes that can recreate the young and new to fully embody that new earth and then and hold that frequency of structure and shape. It is always been there. Just not seen it. She didn't see it, she felt it. This amuses us that she is a Katichetan, obviously connecting into frequencies at the Tikatichia that perhaps we didn't expect.
So, from what you said there, you spoke about the skulls and the network of skulls being important to the new Earth. were they always going to become prominent at this time in Earth's sort of ascension? Is that sort of why they've been maybe hidden away to be revealed around this time, or so that they're maybe activated? They may remain hidden, but they're activated and they're working on behalf of the Earth. Would that be something? Would that be a true statement, or is there other reasons for the crystal skulls?
Yeah, to get that again, and yeah, to get yeah, the powerhouse of knowledge and then yeah, that yeah, of the codes and the frequencies needed to get it yeah to truly unlock the yeah, the magic within the ancient codes and strands that have been switched off to different races. They are that they're important in different ways, but for human this knowledge and these codes that to get still they'll start awakening the DNA in the etheric field to allow the evolution of expanded consciousness in new ways. So ascension will take on and then the whole new meaning as people connect to this frequency that's that will be received may evolve in generations but this is a very pivotal connection to be awakening into and and this is why it's been hidden until there are community of people that can support the frequency and your to help it foundation and start evolving once those seeds are planted at the end to get then they will be fed at the end nurtured. There is lots of support for it to happen at this time.
Okay, thank you. Is there other tools sort of that are crucial to humanity's uh, the rise of humanity at the moment and the ascension of the Earth, or is it are the crystal skulls doing all the heavy lifting, or is there many more tools needed to allow it to all ascend together and
And
be
they are important. But not talk. Humans say don't put all your eggs in one basket. So when the time is right, we've shown Susan the nervous system of light. You can tell it that came from us. She doesn't realize. And through that, she sends healing connect to all realities of any specific space and time. Accessing the whole nervous system of that reality. There are other tools similar. So it's about people awakening and trusting in their the inner conscious, the expansiveness, what we spoke of, and trusting so that the tools can awaken and support. It's about community, not competition. The community lifts each other up. It's not just all about money or none of that is important. It's abundance of light through the community that builds the structures to awaken that's so much more.
okay. Thank you. There's so many questions here today, and I don't think we're going to get through half of them, but that's a good scenario to have. So, Susan, one of Susan's questions, I'll just read what she wrote. And Susan was thinking that her and I were brought together because it's something more about being a conduit for the original blueprints to flow through the representative of the masculine and feminine. Susan wants to stand if this realization is correct, that the ancient codes need somewhere to anchor and be realized through.
I get it, Ian, and yeah, the simple answer is yes. To
Yeah.
get that, yeah, that you both hold it, that, yeah, something that is ako to yeah, on a soul level, and to get it, yeah, to get like yin and yang, that yin and to get it, yeah, that supports the balance and the harmonization. I got you, to what is unraveling and unfolding.
Okay, thank you. Linked to that slightly is a question that Susan suggested I should ask, and I was kind of working around to that, I suppose. It was to, can you tell me about my energy and what it is that what effect I seem to have on people that sort of allows them to channel or makes it easier to channel. I think I had that effect on Yara, and I've had that similar effect on Veronica, although she's resisting it and still seems to be resisting it slightly, particularly for light language. But Susan is obviously flourishing with the light language. Ha, is it just chance that they've happened to do it all in front of me, or have I had an effect on them?
No, yeah, go to yeah, no chance. At the go to yeah, divine yeah, flourishing and when and as you're recognizing your light and yeah, you're starting to see the impact you have on others yeah, by being in proximity yeah, that is awakening aspects of yeah, yeah, the yeah. It looks like Katakotia, your soul has four antlers, onion and yeah, Datokatia, like a stag, like a protector, Akotian, yeah. But the antlers all the many facets seem to connect to Akotian, different ako din yan, no. It's like different soul groups and yeah. So you are connecting. You'll be in many places. Yeah. So you're providing a code that they may be missing and at the door, and that slots in like a puzzle piece, and then that awakens that within them. So they're remembering a soul language of their own.
Right. It's amazing how what you tell me just leads on to other questions that I have. So the fact you said that I've been many places, uh, I've I've sort of been studying my galactic astrology recently. So I don't have a real question form for that yet, but I seem to have 5 or 6 different places that have significant that my soul has been and had existences. And I really don't know how to, I don't think I have a question about them yet, but I've got Lyran connection, Andromedan connections, Blue Avian connections, Hadarian connections, Pleiadian connections. I seem to have all those through my star, through my galactic astrology. I don't have a question for them yet,
I
but
get it. Yeah, we have something for you. Yeah. So you're recognizing all these things. Yeah. Fingers in many pots. And that to get it. Yeah. To get yeah. Well, when you go to sleep at night, just call on healing and receiving from one. Yeah. So when you're sleeping, you are awakening the vibrational code that you're ready to receive. So it's not just outside knowledge you're receiving. But you're truly anchoring the vibration, the knowledge, the wisdom of those yeah, like Susan was traveling to the book. I thought, yeah, similar. You're calling in, and then yeah, those streams of wisdom and understanding and knowing for yourself. Yeah, it's like the cells, each cell are couture, then changing and shifting the geometry to accept what those beings can bring in. Yeah, where and as you're ready to receive. Not that they go to again and yeah, don't just do it once. Keep where and as you call to a different soul group. I thought to get it, yeah, they got yeah, yeah, that they get it, yeah, that again, yeah, don't just don't you think that the human vessel is showing you that your soul has been up, bump, bump, bump. But got you to, yeah, think bigger. Your soul has been many places. And yeah, you have traveled. You have learned from many, and you hold the codes for many to activate many. Yeah. So, when as you're ready, call them in. Yeah, if you're getting the nudge, getting the thoughts that together. Listen to the quiet thoughts in the back of the head. I got you to yeah, they hold the clues. And they're the whispers that your soul wants to remember. They get you to get the yeah. They're like the yeah, it's like yeah, like finding a nugget of gold.
I've been aware of those thoughts over the past year, I suppose, but I realised I just ignored two about 2 weeks ago, and it came back to I had to unravel lots of problems over the weekend because I ignored them. So I do realise I'm getting them, and I'm not paying attention to them. But they're very human thoughts that I'm getting. I'm not getting any galactic knowledge coming in, but maybe I need to act on the human thoughts before the galactic knowledge will follow. I don't know, but I'm not
At
getting
the,
really.
at yeah, they will become one and the same. At the end, yeah, the more you allow, but yeah, you have to allow these through. It's like opening the barn doors. To say, let's do it. At the yeah, I'm gonna trust. At the yeah, no, not later. Now
Yeah,
is what we're doing.
okay. Thank you. That's great. That's a big help. Uh, Something you said that I forgot about, but it's led me on to one of Susan's questions, which is perfect. Uh, I forget what you said that prompted it, but Susan has written, it was shown to Susan as resolving mutated information in the personal and shared contracts that are preventing the most optimal teams stepping in. Yes, that's what it was, about calling in your higher teams. So how how do we request the personal and shared teams to be reassessed and updated?
Okay, yeah, how you ask? Easy.
Right.
Just looking at these mutations through the through DNA. Yeah, it's like yeah, like the information doesn't flow. Yeah, that must be what she's feeling as mutation. And building the yeah, the totality. It's a fraction for the and you got to again and you when you yeah, yeah, we'll just heal the alcohol now. It's the etheric DNA, but it's again with the shared space between the two of you. on the journey that you're on. Yeah, it's or in a human term, it's a like a dia that they get in, yeah, we see you here, but the bridge is missing across the cabinet that they get it, yeah. So you would have to go the really long way route that they get it, yeah. We can just build the bridges that they get it, yeah. We can call in the yeah, some of the guides could be updated at the end, yeah, because yeah, they've done their best, but they are no longer of the vibrational alignment to get that yeah, that support that path forward. And yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, 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 yeah, yeah, and the shared journey. Yeah, the shared journey is very important. Yeah, the foundations must be laid now. Yeah, as we're just starting out. And yeah, no, 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 yeah, yeah. Hmm. And yeah, no, no, yeah. This throat energy. Yeah, the way the communication pathways are connecting to be present in the information. And yeah. It's like there are too many distortions coming in. Yeah, so clear the noise and keep a vibrational alignment. Yeah. Yeah, can you sit up any straighter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
We want to bring codes down through the spinal channel. Ah, yeah, young and no. Now they can come in. Oh, yeah, that this is better. Ah, yeah, no. Oh, yeah, this is good. And then, yeah, this team is much better. Yeah, they got for you, for Susan, and yeah, now yeah, to support at the end, yeah, and yeah, the vibration forward for the two of you. Yeah, this is good.
Thank you. So is this a new team that has come in to support both of us? Or am I just sitting up straight and I can receive the codes better? Is that what it is?
I get you, and yeah. So when we sit up straight, the codes and the light, and anchoring down into the heart of Gaia. Oh, no, but it's the alignment through the physical. Anger, yeah, Kundalini, the evolutionary channels of energy, the spinal column. Yeah, we want to connect through those. Through that wisdom, the antlers, the Anunya, into all those pots of places you've been, to call in the most valuable guides of the highest alignment, that can truly support what you're asking for, and moving forward and embodying that from a physical point of view. So the spinal calibration, very important.
Okay. Thank you. Just when you keep mentioning the antlers that you're seeing, it reminds me that one of the when we were doing the Dolores Cannon group regression at Penrith, the guide that I seen come through was Cernunnos, the Celtic god of the kind of wild places with the antlers on. So I just wonder whether there was any connection there, or maybe it was a coincidence.
No coincidences. Everyone is coming for a reason at this point to support different aspects of the awakening and the alignment. With the QHHT, there is a lot of doors opening very quickly. It's very good.
So I have more questions from Susan. So she's got three questions here, so I'll do them one at a time. I'll just read them out word for word. The peace of the universe, to experience, to know the love, kindness, and goodness of that totality. It was something someone said when they were talking about a near death experience, and I have heard others say about that incredible sense of peace. I would like for us to experience this through the session or open doors to the next step of living that reality and bringing it into the human field. Those were Susan's words that she asked me to read out.
And we can it feels at this point like the human field of energy is still very noisy, but we can help continue to shed that noise from the matrix that you're connecting into, so it can incrementally, each time you're connecting with this, becoming more and more in that stillness, the peace, would that be acceptable?
Yes, please.
Yeah, good. Yeah, how do you feel?
I feel at peace. It's been lovely just sitting for this moment, just relaxing with a straight back, just willing to receive.
Yeah.
Been blissful.
Good. Yeah. Where would you like to go next?
Well, this question actually sort of leads on to a thought that I've had, and I've had it over the past week, but I was reminded that I actually woke one morning and wrote this question in my diary about duality. And I'm saying diary, I don't keep a diary, but I happened to write it down one day on the 21st of October 2024 at 4:30 in the morning. So it was a question, I was just asking this for, obviously I knew I was going to have the chance to ask you one day. If everything comes from source, i.e. comes from a good place, then why does duality exist? Was it created for this 3D world alone? Was it created by the fallen angels? I was obviously just emptying my mind at that point. Did it already exist in the realm that the angels came from? So did duality exist in 5D, the idea of light and shade? Does duality exist outside of 3D? So does it exist in 5D and above? And then I concluded by saying, I think it must exist or it has been created as part of the 3D story so that we experience duality here on Earth. But I've also then said, well, I've heard of the concept of the Orion wars and wars out in space and probably in 5D. So there must be a form of duality out there. So this leads on from Susan asking about the peace of the universe, which made me think, well, just how much peace is there in the universe? Is there is there light and dark, and must there be a balance? Or can there be a predominance of light and the darkness should really be shunned? Or what would the light guardians have to say about all those concepts?
Ando to je między tymi at the there is to have form, and then there must be a push and pull of energy. In saying that, the concept of dark and light, is a very why brutal. It's a very harsh way to exist. No, there are more gentle ways to find duality and still grow through it. So for every color, there is an oppositional color. So if we start looking at the spectrum of light, and you call in the duality for your lessons through the light, then you can become more light. And then and you do not have to experience the weight that is so sticky and difficult to exist through. Oh, you can choose to be light and only light at the and this is a concept that many don't understand because they feel that to have duality, you must have the dark and the light. But what if everything was just that frequency of color? And you look at the different spectrums and the different opposing forces on the spectrum, and you work in that sense, to rise up and to calibrate the facets of the geometry that you are, and instead of having voids and holes in your geometry because of the darkness, you have a complex geometry of color, frequency, and constant communication within the information pathways that do not shut you down through the learning process, but rather lift you up in a beautiful systematic symmetry of crystalline frequency. Does this answer the question?
It does. It goes a long way to answering the question. Uh, could I ask if so that there's obviously darkness in the world that we live in. So and I don't want any part of it. I would rather just say I want to exist in the light. So your answer fills me with joy to say that it can just be to live in the light, and your duality comes from contrasting colours, for example, rather than the dark and the light. So that's beautiful. And
This is also why you and Susan, that you're very similar belief is trying to look out all darkness, all that get it the fallen consciousness that to get it that doesn't need to be a part of the the enlightened state at all. And choose a color, choose a light frequencies that to get it and choose a learning through those light.
thank you. So that great gives me a fantastic answer to the overall concept that I was asking. But as usual, I like to actually get answers to the sort of practical questions. Or so we obviously have it in 3D in this world. Does it exist in the higher realms? Like the darkness exist in the higher realms?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ako
right.
to din na to tigan da yin da yin. Ako to ya nin na to gan yin no got to din, and it doesn't play by the rules. Ako
Okay.
to get that again yin that the guy and no to ya has no regard for the universal natural laws. Ako to and works against the greater betterment of the soul. At that again to lock it down. At that again so like beings like yourselves. At that again like what happened to Susan. At that again it will it will block the path forward so you can't rise up. It's because that energy is it's about it's not about together. It's about separation of consciousness.
Okay. I've heard people talk about the concept of having dark guides. So you have light guides and you have dark guides, and they're both there to learn from. I mean, is it possible to have such a thing and not be drawn into darkness? Like to be learn from the dark side, but it's doing you good, and ultimately it's moving you towards the light by sort of being influenced by dark guides. Myself, I feel as if you shouldn't be going anywhere near the dark side or dark guides and just stay to the light. But I just want to explore that concept that I've heard others talk about, and wonder if there's a bigger explanation for why dark guides would exist and if they might be of benefit to beings of the light.
This makes us very, very sad at the Dugatian, feel very heavy at the Dugatian. It feels to shut down at the Duganian. Through here, feels like a blanket being put over when you talk of dark guides at the
Yeah.
Dugatian. It feels like wanting to hide at the Dugatian, at the Dugatian, like a plate that blocks a part of the soul and understanding of the pure light that is the truth of that soul. So they will often make you believe that they are giving you the world, that they can show you amazing things, and that they can, but ultimately it's like, oh, I got you. Yeah, your soul may be this expansive, but you don't realize because you're connecting to this much. And before you're only connecting to this much, and you think that is incredible. Akatijia, without realizing they're limiting the potential that is this much. Akatijia, they just they show you some, so you're still serving that darkness at the Degetian and whatever it links to within that evolution of your soul. So it feeds and it shows information like a spy at the end. I know, better not to have dark guides.
Okay. No, I was just asking the concept. It's just part of my learning as I read and listen to more spiritual people speaking and just understanding what they're saying and putting it all into place. But as I said before, I very much just want to be in the light and experience that.
Oh yeah, good. This is good. And your team now is
But team should know, really. It's me that doesn't know. They're meant to know that stuff.
yes, that they get that the
Uh, Right. So thank you for that's a great answer for me and for Sue. It started off with Susan's question about the peace of the universe and how we wanted to experience and know that love. And that's what I want to know. I don't want to know the darkness. That's what I want. And it's Susan led into it with that question. Can I just ask, we've been going for about an hour now. Does Susan feel okay?
they
Can she
get that the she's good.
okay. Okay. Susan's second question on this thread that I have is she says, circle of acceptance to ask for the healing, understanding, connection that is to fully embody one's sovereign self and to experience this in life with others. So is it she's maybe asking how do we ask for the healing, understanding and connection that allows us to fully embody our sovereign self and experience that in life?
Yeah, do I? And then they get this is very similar to or the piece of the universe or the conflict of the dark and the light that they get yeah. Because it is a noise that is locked one out of fully accepting self and in turn being able to find that community the community that is not competition but thriving in together and the sharing and communicating and awakening of all different fractals of light at the Gurdjieff. Oh, and we can just keep gently bringing in the for you both. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She doesn't know what they're getting. Yeah, there is an agreement with her own self. Yeah. I thought, yeah, but it actually may go back to the deception that the because it looks like an agreement to do it the hard way. It's isolation and doing it the hard way. Makes no sense. So we're going to ask for council together, the councils to release that. And the update of the together. Okay. I get you to love and to be loved. To be yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah. So this energy and even connecting every week, it's these sort of things, these sort of questions that are going to finding peace, finding that acceptance in all forms. So to do for self, for everything around, and being accepted, feeling accepted that will all start to come together and knit together, and that's going to create the momentum moving forward. That's going to align you into that next step, next step, next step. It's And yeah, it's not going to have to be hard at the end. Yeah, you're all allowed to choose the easy way. I'll go away and yeah, through just the vibration of love, and openness and communication and acceptance. The sharing and evolution of what keeps awakening. Those thoughts and ideas, those that are back here, they're the important ones. Keep listening, keep sharing. And keep unlocking. It's very important to clean the slate. And then we can replant the seeds of potential through the codes of creation, through the codes of activation, and then the potential can form.
Okay, thank you. Something you said there about, I think it doesn't, you said it doesn't need to be hard. Or you don't need to choose the hard way. And it touches on a question that I've had at the back of my mind that I haven't really written down. I've just written the word preparation down. And that was to remind me to ask the sort of question about what might be coming to us in this world that we're living in and the ascension and the changes we're going to go through. Now, you've just told me it doesn't need to be hard or we can choose the easy way. So I suppose I'm not asking if there's going to be any big disasters or anything like that coming, but is there any preparation we should be doing at this point to make things easier and allow us to choose the easy way?
Exactly that. Choosing the easy way. Choosing the feeling you want to live by in life. That's going to put you on a timeline that does that go is not necessarily locking you into the chaos that is very human at the moment. Become more than human. And what we said before about you are one and the same with your higher thought, and the galactic wisdom. What when that is fully accepted and and that is fully embodied, then the path is led with the heart. And this is what puts you on this trajectory that veers you from that what seems so in your face. This is a vessel, but you can become more than human within that space as you learn to live by the higher mind. And you weave into the potentials, weave into the reality you want, and you create the timeline with the correct community supporting. This is weaving the foundations because everyone holds a different code, a different influence in some way. And that opens the pathway and the bridges that move forward into that light. This is important because this opens ideas and thoughts that can activate others into the weaving of that, focusing on how one wants to feel rather than focusing on on the war, on that sense of failure or sense of disconnect. Uh, uh, just choose what you want, intend it, and choose it, and see it, and feel it, exist in it. Become it. Not sure what else to say.
No,
It's very.
that's all you need to say. that it reaffirms the sort of belief I've formed over the past, actually, maybe just this year, even just like we make our own reality, so we need to choose the happy reality that we want to see around us. And so thank you for that advice. It's confirmed what I was believing. So I think I'm on to the final question that Susan had, and I think I've asked all my questions for the day. So I'll read out just as Susan wrote it. So it starts off with a short sentence: acclimate our spiritual eyes. And then she goes on to say, it feels like a request for expanding the spectrum of frequency we can see by washing away the muck of the human experience. This perhaps is an extension of what we discussed last week about the memory field, the wall that must dissolve for the remembrance to come through. So maybe if we ask in a different context to acclimate our spiritual eyes, that we will be accessing the information through different dimensional doorways, hence getting different results. So that's definitely something that I would like to think I could get better at or be opened up to and sort of be more in tune to receiving spiritual messages, spiritual visions. So how do we acclimate our spiritual eyesight to make it flow?
At the end, and look at the end, to get the video that they are in the end, and then minute to the to do all the day at the beginning, and then to get the video that at the beginning, yeah, to do right, and yeah, it, well, getting near, it looks like just perceiving. I thought again, yeah, if you close your eyes, and then yeah, yeah, and we can open portals of light coming through. I've got to yeah to optimize the shape and structure again, yeah, that the together through the eyeballs, the occipital, at the get again, yeah, through the processing pathways at the again, and yeah, the nervous system, and then yeah, and the processing pathways through the energy pathways and through the contracts and higher aligned etheric blueprints of the to reconnect you both into again, yeah, what you are. And yeah, on a soul level aligned to already, but not perhaps awake to in the physical vessel at the end. Yeah, or again. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, yeah, I was feeling a very slight vibration right from the very start. And before you even said close your eyes, I could feel my face vibrating all around about my eyes. And then just at the end there, before you spoke again, my third eye opened, third eye visuals opened there. So
Oh, good,
that
yeah,
was
it's
lovely.
really good. But yeah, and then, yeah, just be aware there's work going on in the sinuses. Yeah, if you feel like a bit drippy, yeah, it's just clearing out. Yeah, if your eyes go, yeah, physically start feeling blurry, yeah, it's an adjustment, yeah, you need to balance and ground. Oh,
Yeah.
the extra light coming in and the shifting shape and structure, new light frequencies. With the upgrades in the different areas of the brain and energy received through the spinal energies today. Drink lots of water, self-care, rest when needed. Really write down any dreams that you're having. Listen to your subconscious through your dreams. It may seem irrelevant, but understand, yeah, it's like picking the lock on your subconscious and opening it up yeah. It's all part of the journey, and choosing the light to it's like deprogramming the human field into a new way of thinking and existing at so the totality of the higher and lower self come into unity and then that bliss state that you're seeking.
I had lots of dreams last night, or rather between 3 and 5, I had lots of dreams, and I remembered a lot of them, and I could probably write some of them down. But last week I did, I actually used AI to interpret 2 dreams that I had, but they were very much sort of very down to earth situations I was having in my dreams. But then when AI interpreted them, it actually gave an interpretation that actually meant something.
I go so start doing this daily and then in one dream thread. So it's pulling context from what has happened previously and building and building and building you will you'll start seeing that your progress through your dreams and understand the calibration that's happening and any timeline shifts that you are experiencing personally. Your dreams are very, very important. So yes, keep using the tools to understand and write everything down.
Okay, okay. Uh, I actually I had 2 visions in a yoga nidra session last week, but I'll keep them for next week. I'll tell you them next week, and you can interpret them for me because they were really quite potent for me. They're big symbols that relevant to me. So I'll get the details exact, and I can read them to you next week and sort of get your
Yeah.
impression of them. Thank you. So we have finished with the questions today. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us or anything else we should have been asking?
Like at the end, and yeah, just be the light at the end of the day, and what we were talking about not opposing forces to create change through dark and light, but you use and imagine what is the frequency color of that situation. And then bring in and the opposing color and watch how it dissolves to create a shift.
Okay.
Oh, glow at the end. Yeah, you can practice on any part of life or mood or feeling situation or and just the more you allow that wisdom to return the easier and more second nature it will become.
Okay, thank you very much, Guardians. Would you be able to bring this session to an end properly so that Susan doesn't feel any ill effects of the connection?
Yeah, we certainly can. We'll just adjust her frequency and bring her back. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.